Hi, I'm Johnny from UltimatePaperMache.com, and I think we now may have the fastest way to get a paper mache sculpture done, maybe even if it's small enough, to start it in the morning and actually be able to finish it that night. And I'm really excited about it. Now, you know that if you watch my last 4 videos, I've been making these 3 wise men, and they had to keep going in and out of the oven all the time. I was using some polymer clay on the head and the hands and stuff, and so they had to be baked. And the armature was made with aluminum foil and hot glue. It was the first time I've ever done that in the oven. And it actually worked, which is really surprising. But it made me really nervous. Some of the pieces got a little bit loose. It didn't drip, but one of the pieces of foil fell off. And it just wasn't exactly the way I wanted it to work. So I asked out on my blog and on YouTube if anybody knew of a way to do it a little bit better so that we can still use the foil and hot glue way of making armatures, because it's really fast. It's just a really easy way to do it, but in a way that wouldn't make me quite so nervous. And our friend, the Carib Queen out on YouTube, suggested that we use this foil tape. It's aluminum foil in a tape. It's used for repairing heating ducts. I had never heard of it before. I'll put it up here. Hopefully that is in focus. 3M metal repair. And I bought some of this from Amazon.com. I think it was about $6. And there's really a lot on here. It didn't take me very much because I only put it on the outside of my little experiment thing. I'm not replacing the hot glue. I'm just using the hot glue like I normally would, because that's a fast way of doing it. And then I use this tape to cover it so that none of that hot glue could possibly get out, and to make sure that none of the little pieces on the outside of the armature would fall off. So let me show you how I did this. I'm really excited about it. It made the whole process so much faster. So let's get to it. Because this is an experiment, I intended to just crumple up a ball of foil, stick a couple of random pieces on there, and find out what happens. But of course, that's really boring and I couldn't help myself. So I turned it into a cat face. And that took quite a lot of little pieces of aluminum foil. I'm using gobs of hot glue just because I want to make sure this works. I'm using actually a lot more hot glue than I normally do, but this is an experiment. We want to find out if this really works or not. So I decided to really push it. The tape came off really easy. It's actually a lot easier to tear than masking tape is. It's really easy to get off the roll. The thing that I'm really excited about is that it covers up enough of the crinkles in the foil that it's easier for me to see when it's a little bit lopsided, maybe something isn't exactly the right shape. And I did cover it entirely with the tape, and I went over it just to make sure that I didn't miss any spots. If it looked like I did, I tore off a little bit more tape and stuck it on there, and then I squished it all down as well as I could using 2 different tools. I just used a wooden tool for most of it. For really fine areas like the back of the ears, I used the textured part of a sculpture tool, and it works really well on some parts. On other parts, the wooden tool works better, so I just kind of went back and forth. So now we've got this guy completely covered with tape, and it's time to cover him up with the paper mache clay. I do have some things ready because it's going to go in the oven. So I've put some paper towel in the bottom of a pan. I'm using the towel because I want to know for sure if it drips or not. If it does, it's going to show up really well on this towel, and it's also not going to get on my nice bread pan. So let's get started. So I'll start out using my paper mache clay. It's just like frosting a cake. I mean, it's just so easy and it's really fun. So I'll just go ahead and finish this up on this side. I'm just going to do the back. Okay, see, I'm already running out of any place to hold on to. I don't think I can do any more. I'm going to smooth it off as much as I can on the parts that I've got done. I'm going to put him in here. Okay, I just took it out of the oven. The pan is hot. This guy is hot. Be careful. A little bit of the paper mache clay was stuck to the paper towel, but there are no little spots of hot glue, so it was totally encased. It worked. Everything seems to be on there just plenty tight enough. I'm trying to see if the tape itself loosened, but no, I can't pull up any edges except for that one right there that wasn't really pushed down very hard. Maybe find another one. Nope, I can't find any little edges poking up the way masking tape does. If you put masking tape in the oven, at least the old kind, the tan kind of masking tape, it just curls up if you put that in the oven. This does not. I think we got a winner. And this was in for 250 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. It's probably not done all the way through. I can still, get a little bit of a give when I'm pushing on it, but it's plenty dry enough that I can hang on to it and finish the rest. So I'll finish this up and stick it back in the oven, because we do have to do this more than once on every sculpture. So if we're going to do it on all of them, I got to do it on my experiment too. Oops, I was in such a hurry to get this guy done, and I wanted to smooth him off really fast. So I put a whole bunch of water on my knife and just kept doing that, and now it's really, really wet and gushy. Don't do that. I don't know why I did. I know better. Okay, that's cat-like enough. And because it's really wet, this will be an interesting experiment. I'm going to leave it in the oven this time for 20 minutes. So it stayed in there for 20 minutes. I thought it was totally, absolutely dry. But then I felt some wet parts here in the inside of his ears that is still not done. So he would have to actually go back in the oven. And I think that's probably always going to happen. What I would suggest, just to make sure, absolutely for sure, before you ever paint a sculpture, is go ahead and feel everything, even the deepest crevices, to make sure that it's dry. Make sure that there's no parts where it has any give at all when you push on it. If the inside is still damp, it's gonna be just a little bit flexible. You don't want that. And then once I knew for sure that it was absolutely dry, I would go back and put it in the oven again for at least another 10 minutes. And I really do think that if you use the aluminum foil and hot glue to make your armature pretty fast, and then use the tape to make sure that everything sticks together like it's supposed to, we should be able to get fairly nice sculptures done in the same day. I'm just really excited about it. Now, if you do try it, be sure and let us know what you think of it down in the comments down below. I'd really like to hear your feedback on this. And in any case, go make something and then come back and visit me, ultimatepapermache.com. I'll see you there.